The next topic is lymphatic system. This is a series of vessels that parallel the blood vessels in our body. And the idea here is to pick up extra fluid that is in the interstitial space. As we'll see a little bit more detail in the next chapter, fluid leaves the blood vessels and enters into the interstitial space. And that fluid then is constantly being picked up by the lymphatic system and brought back into the venous blood supply. And so the lymphatic system is shown in brief here as these green vessels. And as you can see, this fluid is picked up and then brought back into the veins and into the blood supply. It houses lymphocytes, a subset of white blood cells, and therefore is involved in our immune system. One of the functions, besides just picking up excess fluid from the interstitial space, is absorbing fats. This is coming from the food that we eat and picked up by the intestines and then being absorbed by the lymphatic system and brought into the bloodstream. The lymphatic vessels are made up of the smallest versions. These are called lymphatic capillaries. Pretty much all tissues in the bodies have this. And as I mentioned, interstitial fluid gets picked up, but also proteins, microorganisms, fats enter into this. We'll come back to the microorganism issue in just a moment because this is part of what the immune system component of this is doing. So these smaller capillaries then combine together to merge to form lymphatic ducts. And as this says here, it has a structure similar to veins. What's meant by that is they have sort of one-way valves in it. So as the fluid is entering, the fluid is steadily being pushed towards the entrance into the bloodstream. As it passes through the lymphatic vessels, it encounters and is filtered by the lymph nodes. Again, this is a component of our immune system, and it's our attempt then to destroy foreign invaders, microorganisms that might be in our body. Here's a blow-up of what this looks like, and here's the lymphatic vessels here in green, our veins here in blue, capillaries and arteries in red. And what's not really shown here is, in fact, these are not closed ends. They look a little bit more like a clamshell, and they open and close based on pressure on tissues that happens, say, when you are contracting muscles or anything else that's going to squeeze on tissues is going to open and close those little clamshell-like devices and then help to move the liquid then back towards the venous blood supply. If you look at it, it's much more extensive than was shown in those previous images, and you can see that there are lymphatic vessels throughout the body. They merge together eventually to form the right and left lymphatic ducts and enter then into the subclavian veins. This is the way all this liquid then is gathered and brought back into the bloodstream. Other tissues that make up the lymphatic system include the tonsils, the thymus, the spleen. These are sites for lymphocyte production, that again, a subset of white blood cells. So I mentioned all the blood cells, including lymphocytes and other white blood cells, are born in the bone marrow, but some of them, including lymphocytes, then mature in other tissues once they're released into the bloodstream.